Nosy neighbor nightmare, when meddling turns into madness. My 29F husband 30M and I recently moved into a new place. Our neighbors are 30F and 40M. We don't talk to anyone and keep to ourselves, so the first interaction we had was when the neighbor woman dropped by on her own to see who had moved in next door. This is what she expressed to me when I answered the door. "Oh, hi. I just wanted to see who moved in." She then proceeded to ask me questions about myself. "How old are you / you look too young to be a homeowner. Are you renting? I thought this was a for sale listing. Are you married? What do you do for work? And you were born here? And your parents?" It just felt kind of rude. It felt like she was collecting information / knowledge about us. Because she only met me that day, my husband was not home. She showed up again on the weekend. This time my husband answered the door. She was much nicer to him, and because my husband reported such a different interaction to me, we watched it back on the doorbell camera footage, and I told him there was an obvious difference. She was laughing, touching his arm, not interrogating, but having a conversation. She made a joke about how she will make sure to ask him to help her if she ever needs to do any heavy lifting. That was all fine. I lightly teased my husband about it. I am just sharing for a bit of context. Over the months, many micro-interactions occurred. She would smile and wave and start up small conversations with my husband and continue to laugh and joke lightheartedly. She complained about her husband to him a lot. Some of it actually got caught on our doorbell camera. With me, she would have a sourpuss kind of face, ask me nosy questions, or try to give me unsolicited advice on everything from what I was wearing. For example, while commenting on my dress, "What a lovely little sheer thing you are wearing," with emphasis on the sheer in a negative connotation, even though I had on a slip underneath and nothing was showing, and I had layered a long jacket on top. Other times she would stop me to give me advice on household-type stuff, like what to cook for my husband or how to clean the oven. "When was the last time you cleaned yours? Be honest." I hope you guys get the gist. Unfortunately, some of our windows are parallel to each other, and a few times I felt like I caught someone watching. The blinds would always be closed, so I couldn't see who was doing it. But I assumed that between her and her husband, it was probably her. Anyway, I was never doing anything weird. Please keep this in mind. Everything escalated when she recently showed up and rang my doorbell and knocked on my door angrily. On top of that, I answered it and she immediately launched into telling me off for exposing myself and being indecent in my room by changing with the curtains drawn open, that her husband saw everything. I asked her when this happened, because I am always aware of stuff like that, paranoid even. She didn't want to specify. She didn't want to talk in general. She just wanted to be exasperated at me. I didn't get a word in. She had a full-blown rant and then started storming away. Of course, I thought of a million responses to yell back after the fact, but in the moment nothing really came out. I was just so shocked. I think all I yelled after her was, You weird lying bit." I never talk like this, so I don't know where that came from, but it made my husband laugh. I was just so frazzled by the accusation I blurted it out. He told me to ignore her. He said if she shows up at the door again he will talk to her. I tried to go back to a day where I might have changed my clothes in the open like that. I couldn't think of anything. She showed up again and my husband answered. She was probably not expecting him and her stupid face looked like it was malfunctioning for a second while she rearranged her expression. She asked him if I'd mentioned my transgression to him. She basically made it seem like I was putting on a show for her husband and she'd caught me. My husband didn't give her the reaction she wanted. He told her off. She then switched up to saying she is just expressing her concern for his sake. He told her this conversation is over and she's not welcome showing up at our door anymore. A few days ago in the morning, she ambushed me outside while I was getting my mail. It was still dark. She suddenly appeared behind me and started yelling. I get startled easily and I almost had a heart attack. I dropped all my stuff, including my coffee mug with my very hot latte in it. I think I blacked out or went out autopilot or something because I involuntarily screamed and don't remember doing much else. My husband is currently away for work and won't be back until next week. But her husband heard and came rushing outside. His presence was not reassuring. It just added to the feeling of being ambushed. He started touching my shoulder and asking if I was okay and like doing these swiping motions all over my body to get the coffee off. It freaked me out even more. I backed away and said not to touch me. I don't even think I registered what she yelled at me about. I left the mug and the mess out there. I went inside and called my husband. I could see them at the end of our drive, talking or arguing or something, and they stayed there for a while, occasionally glancing towards our front door. I thought about calling the police, and now I regret that I didn't. My husband wants to talk to them when he gets back, but I'm wondering if there is a better course of action. Anyway, just wanted to share this story about these crazies who have somehow sucked me into the middle of their sinking marriage.